warm welcome back to Good Morning Sri Lanka with me, Harith, on the 4th of March. And as I told you, the recently concluded Battle of the Saints, the 79th Battle of the Saints, concluded on Saturday. And of course, I quickly give you an update on the scores before we get into this interview, where St. Peter's College batting first got 238 for 9, followed by the Josephians, who scored 281 for 8 declared. Then the Peterites put up 253 for 7 in their second innings, leaving 209 to be chased by the Josephians, who at the end of the day's play were 140 for 5. So, in fact, very interesting cricket on those days. We'll come to discuss with my gentlemen, my guests on set here. And we have to my immediate left the rector of St. Joseph's College, Father Sylvester Ranasinghe. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And we also have on the couch the rector of St. Peter's College, Father Travis Gabriel. Welcome, Father. So, thank you very much for joining Good Morning Sri Lanka. It's indeed a phenomenon, as I said, the big match. There's so much to discuss about the big match, but before we go on to discuss about it in general, I'll start with you, Father Ranasinghe. What did you think about the match? It's a very interesting game, 900 runs, 23 wickets.
That's right. The both teams were equally balanced, and then it was, I think the pitch was a batting paradise. So all were going and batting and batting and... But it was interesting, we came to an interesting end also,
There was a good chase at the end of the day.
That's right, yes.
Runs being scored at a very high pace.
Yes, that's right. Normally, of course, the oval pitch has been like this often.
Right.
In a batting paradise, So the boys used it,
So of course the boys will use the batting paradise as well. And entertaining cricket, Father Gabriel. Now, something interesting I noticed was there was a agreement between the two sides for a 60-over declaration in both first innings. Can you elaborate a little bit on this?
Yes, for the last 10 to 12 years, we had decided that the first innings be limited to 60 overs per side.
I see.
Thus giving the opportunity for a decision in the match.
Okay.
Because we had so many matches where there were no decisions. So that is why both teams, both schools came together, and we had this joint committee and decided that we limit the first innings to 60 overs.
I see.
And ever since we did that, we have had good games, and then during the last 5 years we have had 3 decisions.
I see.
So that has
there
paid
is
off.
a direct connection with this decision.
Exactly.
And I think the cricket, as you discussed, Father Ranasinghe, it has been more entertaining, more competitive, and so on. Now, something I want to also ask first from you, Father Ranasinghe, is now, generally when it comes to the big match, certain schools discuss that the test match, the 3-day game or the 2-day game, is the big match in itself. Now, I understand with the Joe Pete, or the Battle of the Saints, or Joe Pete as it's fondly known as, they regard the limited over game, which is coming up on the 9th of March, as the greater spectacle. Would you agree to this?
Yes, as we see it, of course, it has been like this, the big match also, the old boys and all the others get together. But mainly, of course, maybe because of the time constraints, maybe, one day it's interesting also, and certainly there is a result. So the more people flock there for the limited over, what I feel.
Right.
Interesting,
because there's a result.
And
now, Father Gabriel, on the 9th of March, what are you feeling about it? What are the prospects for the match? Now, I think, in my objective perspective, I think the Josephians came out on top this big match. Will the Peterites bounce back?
Yeah, definitely. We have also a very good side, and we are definitely going to do well. With that intention that our boys also will be going to play this 50-over match. And as Father Sylvester rightly said, both schools have 2 good sides, so we're bound to see a very good limited over match next Saturday. And on that day, the team that plays well is going to win the match.
And would you also agree with what Father Ranasinghe says, that the limited over clash is more expected, more anticipated, more attended event?
Yeah, it's definitely more attended, and it is unlike some other big matches here, because the fact that it is limited to just one day.
Right.
and as there is a result, obviously they are in the match, there is a bigger crowd that is attracted towards this game.
Right.
And especially today, it's not like those days. Even the youngsters find it difficult to find time to come and spend spend 2 days at the grounds
Watching a cricket match.
Watching a cricket
Even though
match.
they would love to do so, they don't have the time.
Exactly, and that is why even watching 5-day test matches also has become a problem here in Sri Lanka.
Yes. Now, we at MTV Sports are, of course, taking steps, unique steps in the school cricket arena, where we'll be telecasting this fantastic one-day game on the 9th of March. And, of course, it is an important thing. Now, I want to talk to Father Anasinghe about it as well. Now, televising school cricket games, Father Anasinghe, how important do you think this is?
Yeah, earlier days, of course, we didn't have. I think last year we must be very indebted to MTV and all. The last year also it was given a full coverage, and this year too. And of course the people who come to watch the match, they come. I don't think whether you telecast it or not, those who want to come and see the match really and then enjoy and all that, certainly they will come. But anyway, those who cannot come, certainly they will watch. And then of course the effect, what I feel is after that, for the players, I think it's a good for them to see again the replay and all that, what has gone wrong, learn from the game and all that, and that I think certainly help. Whatever, whether we play, we play just WMP, right, but what we want is, rather than just winning or losing, the standard game, we want to see all the time our players going up, improving themselves, a standard,
And being on TV certainly will give that element of push,
yes,
because
push.
you have to be professional, you have to play a good cricket game.
That's right, yes.
Right, I see.
That's correct, yes.
Now, when we talk about the cricket, Father Gabriel, I mean, we see all the cricket. The cricketers, of course, it's the wonderful highlight of their life, the cherry on the cake of their cricketing careers in school. But then there is also a large background to all this now. You gentlemen are always involved with the organizing, the administration, the bringing up of these cricketers from the kindergarten days to their cricketing highlights. Now, I want to ask you a little bit about how it is at the school during this time. How is it easy to manage the boys when they are at their big match fever peak?
Yes, I mean during this time, especially during this so-called big match time, there is interest that is created among the schoolboys also, especially among the young crowd. You find them carrying flags and they get interested in this so-called big match fever. But more than that, during this time you find the first 11 matches being played.
I see.
And in addition to that, certain junior matches are also being played. So that interest is created there. And then there is so much about the big matches that are spoken also, and then in the papers various reports are being written, and on TV, as now MTV will be telecasting this, and so many other programs will be shown. So that interest is being created. So in school we don't create too much of interest and things in addition to what is normally done in school.
Created.
But there is that interest, and the normal life goes on in school.
I see.
But of course, we do not neglect our studies and the other activities because of this big match and this atmosphere that is created there.
Of course. When I was a schoolboy, I also used to remember studies were important, but then when the big match comes, it was a sudden adrenaline rush, and of course you focus on your school life, and it's a fantastic time period. Now, Father Anasinghe, personally, is the month of March a bit more taxing? Is there a bit more extra work? You have to coordinate with the schoolboys, the cricketers, the old boy organizing committees, so on. How is it for you personally?
Definitely, yes. When it comes to the big matches, where especially we play out and the whole family of Josephine and Pete Rice get together. Unlike when we have a college function, it's only the children come together, but this is the whole world, I would say. Sometimes the Pete Rice Josephians come from overseas, all that, so we have to make it organized in such a way that all will be happy. Finally the game of cricket will win. That is what we want. And also that is also a family like a gathering. You know, ours of course, we are Peterite Josephines, we often the old boys also come together even during the match, you know, with the winning losing doesn't matter, but you know the game of cricket must win finally, you know.
Now that is something of course very interesting in schoolboy cricket in Sri Lanka, the rivalry. Now the Joe Pete rivalry has been something famous. You know, it goes on not just for cricket, for rugby and so on. Father Gabriel, a little discussion about this rivalry. How do you see it? Is it just friendly rivalry? Can it also go to unnecessary levels and so on?
You mean the Joe Pete?
Generally, the schoolboy rivalry.
Schoolboy rivalry, I mean, the competition levels have increased. I mean, they have improved when you compare with the yesteryears. And sometimes the tournaments are organized in such a way today that the rivalry can go to, you know, levels that are not conducive to schoolboys also.
I see.
But now in our setup, when you take the two schools like St. Joseph's and St. Peter's, our rivalry has always been healthy. Because now when you take this big match, we have certain events that precede the big match.
I see.
Like we have the staff get together, where the two staffs come together, the faculties, we come together and have a fellowship before the big match. Then the prefects come together and have a fellowship.
I see.
And then we have the two teams coming together before the big match and having a fellowship dinner. So in that we try to, you know, build up that unity, that